Good afternoon, everyone. I feel that I am very lucky and very happy to be here. Let me introduce a little bit of myself. My name is Nguyen Tuan Anh, and I was born in 1993 in Ho Chi Minh City. And I'm a sophomore at the Vietnamese American Vocational Training College. And besides studying, I'm working as a Vietnamese teacher for foreigners and at a study school. And I really love languages. While I'm teaching, I can introduce the culture, the people, the language, and the soul of Vietnam. And today I'm going to talk about the question: should young people practice careful eating habits or just follow their appetites? But just let me start by asking a couple of questions. Do you like milk rice paper?
Yes, very much.
Do you think it's very clean?
No.
Oh. And the next question is for you. Do you think that you like proper milk tea?
Yes.
Do you think it's very good for your health? Yes.
Yes.
Good for your health? Oh, really? Okay. Thank you for your answers. So I think that it's not good for your health. I think so. So the problem here is that you know it's not very clean, you know it's not very good for your health, but you still want to drink and eat it. So the question here is not whether or not we practice careful eating habits, but we should work on our awareness of our eating habits. Why I have to say that? There are several reasons for me to say that. First, you know it's not very clean, you know it's very poisonous, but you still want to eat it, just because you cannot resist your appetites, and you cave into them. And the second reason is that you consider that you belong to a very dynamic and enthusiastic generation. So you can do whatever you want to do, so you want to try new things in this life. And if you eat more careful, you're afraid of losing your own style. And the next reason is that you think that you are more modernized and you are knowledgeable about nutrition, so it's okay to maintain your diet. Yeah, I know that you love this. Okay, and the final thing is, whenever you see on Facebook or media or newspaper or something, you see like new food or new beverage, and you feel the tendency to fit into the ground, and you want to try it regardless of the risks. So back to the main question. I definitely agree that we are young people and we should practice careful eating habits. Firstly, I would like to invite you to have a look at the actual situation of foods and diseases of Vietnam. As you know, many restaurants and food stalls prepare food carelessly, and chemical substances are trivially replacing a pure ingredient. And a lot of poisonous food imported illegally from other countries, such as China. We say no to China. Okay, we say no to China. Okay. And their research about stomach cancer in 2008, and Vietnam was ranked 16 in the world, and with annual diarrhea cases reached 82,662,800 cases. Wow! I hope that everybody in this room will not be a victim of those cases. I am young people, and we are young people, so I agree that we want to take advantage of this period of time to do whatever we desire. But we have to distinguish what is good and what is not. Don't just push yourself to any corners or into debt, then realize that we have a lot of responsibility to take care of. So, therefore, we have to practice careful eating habits. Let me tell you some advantages. First, you can plan for your meal, so that you know what is missing in the meal, so you can supply some ordinary food or beverage. For example, if your meal is short of vegetables, so you can drink some juice then. And proper eating habits can supply you enough energy and allow you to be more engage in daily activity and avoid being obese. And you can avoid food of unknown origin and bad food. And one more important thing is that you can reduce the risk of high blood pressure, diabetes, and cancer generally of human beings. And you guarantee your health will become better and better. And if your health is in a good condition, you will be more efficient at work and more adaptable with your surrounding. Finally, nowadays we are young people, we tend to make our body images better by going to the gym or doing yoga. So that's the reason why we have to have careful eating habits to promote maximally the exercise. But if you just keep on following your appetites, when your appetite is satisfied, do you know what remains after that? Let me tell you some consequences. First, you will be the victim of digestive disorders. If you eat less food, you will be the victim of malnutrition. And you guarantee lack vitamin C and vitamin E. And according to recent research, vitamin C and vitamin E help reduce the risk of cancers. And being able to be infected by the bacteria HP, which cause some forms of cancer. And will be the victim of intestinal cancer, such as palate, esophagus, and colon. And some substances in food and drink can destroy your mucosa, lead to palate cancer. And some real food, such as real rice paper, barbecue meat, can lead to colon cancer. Okay, so now, just tell me, which one you choose for yourself? Following your appetites or change to more careful eating habits? Say, everybody, which one do you choose?
Change.
Change. Right, you change. So how do we change to more careful eating habits? Here are some solutions. I am not telling you that you definitely give up your appetites and craving, but you can indulge yourself at most once a week. And we have 3 meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And in the between meals, we can have 2 to 3 extra meals, such that you can drink some water, you can drink some milk, you can have some yogurt or some fruit or some vegetable, just to ensure that you are not too full, you are not too hungry. This can help you to reduce your appetite. And finally, I encourage you to buy some books or attend some courses about nutrition and how to live a healthy life. From this moment on, we have to be aware of our health and be knowledgeable about our decision. Because of our current situation, there's no hope for tomorrow. That's all. Thank you.
That was a great presentation. So let's hear what the churches have to say. And Mr.
Thank you, Anne, for your presentation. I think the visual aids were a real problem with this presentation. There were a lot of grammatical errors on the visuals, and a lot of the information wasn't really accurate. So yeah, you know, getting the facts right and using the accurate terms to describe what we see on the visual is really important. Your pronunciation is very good. But also with the advent of the wireless microphone, I always ask students to move around. I don't know why you stand still when you have a wireless microphone. You can move anywhere in the room. It would make it much more interesting. Okay, so anyway, that was the main problem that I saw with visual aids. It would be more persuasive if the information was more accurate. Also, there were just so many images. It was just a barrage of images and mixed messages on the visuals that were quite distracting for me. But anyway, but thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, Tuan Anh,
Yes?
it's very honor for us to have such a contestant from another school like you to be the finalist. So let me ask you some questions.
Yes?
What encouraged you to join this competition?
At the first time, I didn't know this competition, but my teacher, she encouraged me and she pushed me to this competition. And she told me that she definitely believed in me and encouraged me to go, so yeah. I feel interested in this competition. It's really a helpful playground for our students.
Well, I have believed in you after your presentation as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Alex. So I have questions. Mr. Alex, do you have any questions?
Thank you.
I have to ask you a question because we have to judge you on your answering the questions. Okay. Good. Before I ask the questions, I just want to comment on a couple of things. I like the voicing. I like the pacing. You have very good energy. But I think part of what maybe Michael was talking about in terms of the movement was when you give a presentation, right? Pay attention to the point, the tip of your shoes. Wherever the tip of your shoes are pointing, that's where your attention is, right, generally. So most of the time, you're like this away, right? Some kind of movement. I don't think you necessarily have to walk across to this side, but simply between points, at transition points, make a turn, right? So that way your energy moves all the way around the room. You understand?
Yes.
Okay, good. My question is this. Now, for this presentation, for what you were saying to make sense to me, I think you have to define what you mean by appetites. The young people appetites, right? Because it seems to me that what you're saying is if you are careful, then you're healthy. But if you follow your appetites, the result of that is cancer and diarrhea and whatever, right? Is that always necessarily the case? And really, I guess I would want to know, well, what do you mean by appetites? All right?
As you know that a lot of teenagers here in Vietnam, they want to eat like some food. Even though, especially me, my grandmother cooks food at home, but I always don't get out of my house and eat food, which I don't like. It's inside my house. But the problem is, food everywhere in Vietnam is not really clean. That we can tell. Even though we go to a very luxury restaurant, we don't guarantee that the food in the restaurant is very clean. So that's the reason why I would tell that some teenagers, they have some bad food outside, and this can lead some cancer. Yeah, that's my idea about that.